Where else does the Midrash say this whole vart of Ikar Shechina B'Tachtonim? Where it talks about building the Mishkan. In Parshas Nasi'us, when the Mishkan is put up and inaugurated, so the Midrash talks about this idea of Basi Legani, and quotes this pasuk and this vart that Hashem is saying, I've come back to my house, to my place, to my garden, to my chuppah, which is the Mishkan. And over there, the Midrash has a beautiful vart. The Yidden are spending time and a lot of energy putting up the Mishkan, and not only building the Mishkan, but actually putting up 7 days, up and down. And as we know, a whole thing that it was really ready on Chafei Kislev, but Hashem pushed it off the Mishkan. And the Yidden were very nervous, like, what's going on? Hashem doesn't like it. So the Midrash says a mashal that a king, that they built him a palace, and he's not going in. So the nation are like, they're crying and they're screaming, they're asking the king to go into the palace. So finally the king enters and he says, don't worry, I'm here. So the Midrash says, so too, the Yidden build a Mishkan, and they're not sure what's going on, is Hashem going to come down, and it looks like it's being pushed off, and the Yidden are nervous. Remember, this is supposed to be a kapar for Chet Egel, so the Yidden have really good reason to be nervous, until, and I'm quoting the exact words of the Midrash over there in Bamidbar Rabbah, Shalach lehem al-yedei Moshe, so Hashem sends a message through Moshe, Mo atem yireim, what are you scared of? Kvar Basi Legani achoisi kala. I've already come into my garden, in other words, I'm here, don't worry, I'm here. And it's almost like, you read that Midrash, it's like, yeah, Moshe, the Rebbe is coming, Yud Shvat Toshin Aleph, and the Chassidim were very nervous, and what's going to be, right? And the Rebbe is not accepting the Nesi'us, and the Rebbe is not saying Mamarim, and we know the story that by that Farbringen, Yud Shvat Toshin Aleph, the Rebbe was saying Sichis, and finally a Chassid, Sender Nemtzev, he stands up and he says, Rebbe, the Sichis are Neshein, but the Chassidim will Chassidus. The Sichis are very nice, but we want a Maimer, because we want a Rebbe, we want the Shechina down here. And as we know, the Rebbe started off the Maimer with a little bit of a preface, which was actually common in the first few years. It wasn't just Basi Legani. The first few years, very often the Rebbe would start off a Maimer like in the middle of a sentence. And that time, the Rebbe started off in the Maimer was the Rebbe, the Shreya, the Reis Geben, Yemilula, I forgot the exact words. In the Maimer that the Friedrich Rebbe gave out for his Yemilula for Yod Shvat, the Friedrich Rebbe says, Basi Legani achesi kala. You can hear it on the audio. Right? The Rebbe starts the Maimer. It's like mamish, like exactly the Midrash describes. Yidden are freaking out. What's going to be is Hashem pleased with us, and Moshe comes with the message. Don't worry, Basi Legani achesi kala. That's how the Rebbe starts off their Shvi. So of course it's a cornerstone Maimer. Of course it's a powerful Maimer. And again, in the Chachma Bina Das layers of appreciating the yes, even the complexity, for sure to understand as much as possible, and most importantly, if we could say, to come out with the practical and relevant messages.